they can't see me, but I'm in these really fun Fendi flats.
Okay.
We're going to zoom in on the shoe.
Yeah, we
Zoom in
do.
on the shoe.
Woo!
Hey guys, Alex Rich.
Ben Poremba.
Hey, we are excited to let you know that we have episodes of our podcast, Jews in the Lou, dropping every other week, and you're not going to want to miss. We have some great guests lined up.
Amazing. And while I have you, I want to thank the St. Louis Jewish Light for their incredible partnership and support of our podcast. St. Louis Jewish Light doing amazing work for our community, keeping us informed with stories, with updates.
And visit stlJewishLight.org. Subscribe to their newsletter. They'll keep you up to date on everything going on.
Absolutely. See you soon.
She's our guest tonight.
She's our guest. We gotta.
I don't know.
But
Go
she's
ahead,
a
I'll chime
traveler.
in.
She's a world traveler.
I am a big traveler.
She's a world traveler.
I'm a big traveler.
She's a fashionista.
Laura Sawyer does it all.
Laura Sawyer, tell us about yourself and who you are.
Who is Laura Sawyer?
How would you give your one?
I mean, we gotta put something on
your
the
one
thing.
sheet.
No. I'm not going to give you my title. I'm going to give. Do you want me to do that right now?
Well, you're gonna do it later too, but
Yeah,
give us something right now so we know what to.
Who am I? Yeah, Damn, I should have thought about that before I came today.
Doesn't need to be too fancy.
Who am I? I am somebody who likes to help others feel really good about themselves.
Okay.
And I do that through the lens of getting dressed.
A philanthropist.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, I'm involved in the community. That's a little aggressive. I
A
wouldn't go that far.
community-oriented
Volunteer.
Okay.
Yeah, what am I? I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a wife, I'm a friend, I'm a volunteer in the community, I'm a transplant in St. Louis.
Okay, that's important.
It is important, actually. I've been here 11 years now.
Talk about your Jewishness.
Oh, well, that's the big part that we're going to get
Yes.
into. I have no problem saying this. I am a converted, chosen Jew. I did it over the last few years.
Love it.
So I can give you the story behind that, obviously.
Sure, give us.
You
We
know?
always like that.
So this is a good way to tee it up. So my husband, Mark, is Jewish and grew up in New York City and came here to go to WashU over 20 years ago. And he was home just visiting New York City one weekend, and we met at a bar randomly, and I thought, who's this really nice tall guy? He's like 6'6", and I was like in my mid-20s in New York City and tired of dating in New York City, and I was
Are you
just
from New York?
I grew up at West Point.
Oh, I had no
just
idea.
outside of the city, yes, I know. And then sort of scattered. My parents were divorced, so I grew up all over, and then moved into New York City after college, and was there for a few years working. I was an event designer and marketer in New York, and it was great. You're in your 20s, and you're just like hustling your ass off nonstop.
Right.
And you get to like go into the back doors of like the St. Regis Hotel and the Peninsula and like set up these grand parties, and then leave as they're getting started, and like your night's just getting started somewhere else. And you're young, and you're just working all the time and traveling a lot. And I remember meeting him, and I was like, you're a really nice guy. I haven't really met that many nice guys in New York, so this is kind of piquing my interest. So quickly found out that he was living here because he stayed and he launched a business after college. He launched one in college and then stayed and launched another. Fell in love. I moved here 11 years later, or 11 years ago, I should say. And he was, first of all, I'm going to qualify this and say, like, I did not convert to Judaism before we got married.
Okay.
Because people ask that all the time. This was something that I had thought about for a really long time. I think as someone, and I am not going to speak for anyone else who converted, this is just my story, but, for me, meeting Mark and being a part of his family as well, it was a really warm and very, like, low barrier to entry sort of experience to Judaism, which on one hand, I was like, okay, like, this has piqued my interest, and there's no pressure. Sometimes people feel pressure, and like getting married, we don't need to go down that road. But he was always like, just, I want you to be happy, spend your time and your heart and your efforts where you want to. And that pretty quickly was pointing me in the direction of Judaism. And for like 8 years, maybe 9 at this point, I just started doing my own personal digging and reading books and talking to friends who were Jewish, and all my Jewish friends were like, yeah, it'd be great, but like, you're good, it doesn't matter, like, come or not, which I feel like now is like a very Jewish thing. And so a few years ago during the pandemic, at that point I was like, I think this is time, like, I really want to officially become Jewish.
Right.
And there's a Judaism 101 course in St. Louis that I think all the Reform rabbis put together, and it was COVID, so it was online, which was like very easy, I think, for me to be like, okay, I'm going to come at this from a Zoom perspective, and we're just going to see how this goes. And there were a lot of people in the community. It was, at one point I had a friend join me who is Jewish, and she was like, I'm just going to do this as a refresher.
Yeah.
And I met a few different rabbis, which was a great experience. And then
You shopped around for rabbis.
I do my research as a stylist, okay? I do have a great story, which I'll get to on that shortly, but about meeting a rabbi whom we share, actually, as a member of, if I can say so.
Yeah.
We share a congregation, Temple Emmanuel.
Yeah, right.
So, a friend of mine, actually, a few years ago, so we're sitting and talking. I've taken the 101 course, and she's like, okay, have you thought about joining any kind of congregation in the community? What are your thoughts? And I was like, well, I'm thinking about here and there, and I'm not going to say the places, okay? Because I don't want to kick up any dirt there, okay, or dust. And so she was like, look, for what it's worth, I really think you would enjoy Rabbi Elizabeth Hirsch. I think you two would get on well.
Yeah.
And she's like, and I'm going to leave it there. And if you want the intro, I'll make it. And if you don't, we'll never talk about it again.
Right.
All is good. So I thought. And I was like, all right, I'm ready. So I, listened to her during class. And then this friend invited us to go to the High Holiday services. And I was like, all right, this is my moment. I'm going to have a chance to meet her. We're going to get a full experience here and get to understand who is in this, sub-community within the larger Jewish community of St. Louis. And this is so shameful, but I tell this story to everybody. I've shared a little bit. I'm a wardrobe stylist, so fashion and style are really important things to me. And I find them as a way of connection with people. And I walk in, and I knew who she was, and she's standing there in this fabulous black sheath dress and Louboutin heels and beautiful earrings, and I was like, that's my gal. I knew it right away. That's obviously a very surface level thing, and that's not the only reason.
No, it's not.
But
you gotta connect with people.
We do have to connect with people, and so she and I
goes.
subsequently really hit it off, and the rest is kind of history.
Yeah.
So
So, that actually gives you. I didn't know your story, your conversion story. Honestly, I assumed you met a Jewish guy, you converted like a lot of people do. Not to degrade the conversion of people who get married, who convert because they want to get married, but the fact that you chose it and it was a path and a slow path gives you tons of credits, Jewish credits, because we talk about it on the podcast all the time. That it's however you flip it, it's an exclusive club that people religiously we never encourage. The religion does not encourage proselytizing, growing,
which I love about that actually.
Yeah,
I can't deny, maybe explicitly at one point or also subconsciously, that was certainly a draw for me.
Yeah, and even in Orthodox circles, when you approach a rabbi and you said, I want to convert, they discourage you. They really want to dig in. Are you doing this because you're trying to get married? I mean, you really have to give a convincing argument and a heartfelt and a genuine argument as to why. And the fact that you said, I'm marrying a Jewish guy, but I'm not converting, I'm taking my time, I'm learning. So I love that story. I know I would anyways.
One quick point on that, we don't need to go down this road because this is a very open, inclusive conversation. When October 7th did happen, I was meeting often with the rabbi, and she looked at me and was like, are you sure you want to do this? And I was like, now more than ever. And she was like, that's a very Jewish thing. And I thought, well, then I'm in the right place. Because
I mean, really I don't want to go down that road, not because I don't want to talk about it, and we are in a real strange time, difficult times. There's a huge rift within the Jewish community here and in Israel. It's important to just speak about the tragedy, the all-around tragedy. Innocent people are dying, kids are dying, people are hurt, and it's a difficult time for our people. You know, and
that's
another dark chapter in our history, in our
Right.
long and tough history. But this podcast is supposed to be light and
We're gonna
fun
keep
and
it light.
funny.
We are gonna be funny.
But you
We
know
are.
what?
But
It's
that,
part
that's
of
an
our
important
well,
part of my
Jewish
journey
humor
to
had
have.
always been about
Yeah.
finding some kind of even in times of tragedy and suffering and hardship, we always find a weird way to laugh about it, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I
yeah,
think
you
some of
have
my
to.
favorite experiences of being with people that are Jewish that are in our lives are like some of the funniest jokes I've actually
Horrible jokes.
No, they're so bad. Like my husband Mark's best friend growing up, his dad is Jewish and tells the ultimate jokes. They cannot be repeated on this podcast.
Of course.
Tell us
Like,
one.
No,
That's what we need, right?
Tell us
but
one.
they're
what we
so
need.
good.
Do you have
I have a joke. It's an awful joke. I actually never was gonna put it on this
All right,
You're
podcast.
okay.
prepared.
But
All
we are
right,
now
I'm so
about
honored
a
now.
dark Jewish
He's
humor.
gotta loosen it up
and
a little bit.
this is the ultimate dark Jewish humor because it's Holocaust humor.
Oh God,
If there's
Ben.
such a thing.
Oh man. Okay.
You know, and it's a joke that I tell my dad, who was born in a survivors camp. Both parents, his entire family on my dad's side is completely wiped. There's a story about just give him name. Give me good Jewish names.
Shlomo.
Shlomo
Good choice.
and
Wasn't that a good one?
yeah, that's a great. Give me another one.
Teach
A
me.
male or female?
Male, two males.
Maybe Shlomo and.
Moishe.
Shlomo and Moshe
Okay.
are in heaven, on a bench in heaven, cracking up, telling jokes, but cracking up just like uncontrollably. And God walks by and he says, "Hey, what's so funny? I want to be in on it." And Shlomo tells God, Moshe was just reminding me that, I never made it to the gas chambers. SS guy pushed me on the line, and I fell down, hit my head, and that's how I got here. And we just find it funny, and they're just laughing. And God goes, "This is horrendous. You shouldn't be laughing about things, those kinds of things." And they both says, "God, come sit between us." And they both put their arms around God and says, "It's okay, you weren't there, so you wouldn't understand it."
And this was the last podcast we ever did.
Thank you all for joining us.
Maybe so.
Oh my
But
God.
it's a laugh you want to cry to, right? There is this thing about Jewish humor, and maybe we should dedicate a whole show about Jewish humor at some point because there's some great humorists, comedians.
Sure.
Definitely.
There's this great book about they call it the English, which is so much of our language, our funny language, is started with words from Yiddish and from Yiddish culture. But I think it's this idea that you can poke fun at anything and everything, especially at your own suffering.
Yeah.
That is a way of coping with reality.
Yes.
And
Certainly. I think we need more of that.
We
Just
need more of
generally,
that.
we need some levity. So
Well, I
thanks
think
for bringing
that
the
is-
levity.
I
think
agree.
there's people that are too serious in the world today where it's just like, you have to understand the circumstances, and I think
what I detest, and I actually was very, very guilty of that attitude myself. I mean, I was a political activist many years, and I was very self-righteous, but this idea of sanctimony, like this, just people that think that they just prescribe ideas about how to live and how to walk, and I don't want to again turn this into, oh my God, we're gonna turn this into political too. But I mean, like I said, I was.
I'm not a politicos.
But I
surprise,
am. This is a quality that I can't stand. Is this moralizing?
though. Yes.
Like I said, I'm occasionally guilty of it myself. But
we have a
anyway,
fine
back to
line.
Laura Sawyer.
No, but I think
Let's
that does-
Dusty's.
Yeah, I think that does speak
It's
to
a good segue.
It speaks to Judaism, obviously. Like, and you saying, hey, it's very relaxed. Like, we welcome you, but we're not going to force your hand
Right.
at it. And we want, like, ultimately, like, if you're comfortable, we want you to be comfortable in this cultural
Right.
world that we live in, right?
Yes.
Like you talk about the humor, like I think Seinfeld,
Yeah,
obviously one of
obviously,
the greatest shows. I think
Yes.
Curb Your Enthusiasm, but you also have to have a sense of humor that's not just surface level
Right.
to really understand the depth of.
Well, you want to cringe sometimes when you
Yeah,
hear some of these
yeah.
things, right?
Well,
You just-
right. I mean, we all have to put a little effort in, maybe a little bit more and more in life. And that's
So,
part of it. That's the entrepreneur in me, though, to bring
Yeah,
it back
so
to
you
Laura.
do a lot. You do a lot with. You talk about fashion and style and. being
But
an
explain what that
entrepreneur.
means. You're styling. So
Sure.
you said you were a wardrobe consultant.
Okay, there's a lot of different titles here.
Okay,
So,
yes. Let's unpack some.
here
Let's
are the
unpack
things.
some of it.
One
Here-
at a time.
Here are the things that I do. One is
I want to be a wardrobe consultant.
You are. You're a
wanna,
thrifter.
You want to
We'll
come
get
be
into
my
that.
assistant?
Yes.
You need another job?
Yes.
I could use
Badly.
some extra help.
That's what he
okay,
needs is
okay,
another
okay.
job.
Do you
All right.
consult men?
I do consult men, yes. I work with men and women. I literally go into people's closets and help them decide what works for them, what doesn't work for them. We clear it out. I
And you get
shop
paid for
them. I get paid for this.
It's incredible.
So
Yeah.
whenever people are like, "Oh my gosh, this is so stressful," like, I could manage this another way, and I'm like, "No, this is why I have a job." Like, there are jobs for many of us out in the world.
Which I hate cleaning out my.
How did you
closet.
get into it? Tell us a bit.
Oh, sure. This is a good
I
story.
mean, you like fashion?
I like fashion. Okay, so like I grew up, I told you I lived all over New York State a bit. My parents were divorced. They got divorced when I was 2. So I lived between households. I have brothers, and I was an athlete mostly growing up. So
What did you play?
I was a competitive downhill skier growing
Wow.
up in the
Wow.
Northeast.
I don't know that I've ever, in person, really met a competitive.
It's so nice to
downhill-
meet
yeah,
you.
great to see.
That's the most
How
un-Jewish
do you
sport
get,
I've
no
ever.
doubt. No doubt.
Come on, we're
That's a
all
dead
making
giveaway.
contributions.
Wait, how do you get in? How do you get into that?
You ski.
You ski.
And
Yeah.
you fall in love with it, and you're like,
You
you're
do or you
crazy.
don't. My dad put me on skis when I was 2, and wait, this is even more Jewish. My parents are from Alabama originally, so I really was meant for this
Yeah,
life.
Yeah.
And growing up in New York, he was in the military, and so that's why we spent a lot of our time there.
Yeah.
And they were like, "We're going to teach our kids how to ski. We didn't learn how to do this kind of thing, and we think it's a really interesting sport."
Yeah.
So they put me on skis when I was 2, and I grew up. I have 2 older brothers, and so naturally, I wanted to beat them at everything.
Right.
And it was a good driver and motivation. So I raced in high school, downhill, slalom, and giant slalom. Yeah, I had
Amazing.
like one of those like fitted race suits. It was a
Really?
spider
Was
suit.
this like a club thing, or did they have
No,
like
it was
ski
like a
teams
team.
and like they had ski teams in high schools? And,
Yes, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's pretty
you've
cool.
got regional sports
Yeah,
in
yes.
different parts of the country. So
Yeah. Do you still ski
skiing-
today?
Oh,
It's big on your list.
It's when I'm skiing, I'm in my happy place.
Is that right?
It's amazing. You're outside. You're basically.
Last time I saw
flying.
you had a broken foot.
Well, that was after ski season.
Was that because of skiing? Or
No,
That was just
no.
walking.
No, that was just walking. That was walking down one stair in my house.
Seriously.
Yeah, but like.
See, this is the shit
is
that I love.
unimportant.
Like,
It happens.
you can do the most dangerous kind of
yeah.
thing.
She's going 100 miles an hour down a hill. She's fine, but she can't walk down her front porch to get the mail. You know what I mean? So you.
I deserve that.
So downhill skiing was like
okay.
your big thing growing up.
I was a big athlete. Fashion and design wasn't really, I don't want to say like encouraged, but my parents were busy and they were divorced, and so we were just sort of trying to like get through and deal with things. So skiing was a really good escape for me. And then I ended up going to college
Where'd you
in
go to college?
Connecticut.
Connecticut?
Yep, in Connecticut. And
For what? What did you study?
I studied media studies and digital culture at the
Okay.
time, and I graduated in 09, which, that was when like all social media was starting
Yeah.
to crop up. So it was a
Yeah.
really interesting time to be studying that world. I also very proudly, I'll have to like go dig out and see if I can find this video. We had a TV News magazine program at my college, and I was an on-air talent, and have a video clip where I'm in front of the Habitat for Humanity house with a hard hat on, and I'm giving
Wow.
everyone a tour of
Okay.
it. So, I felt like it was like a good precursor
Yeah.
for some of the things that I'm doing now.
Right.
Which I'll get to, which is so. Anyway, we're going down some good tangents
Yeah,
here. I'm trying to keep
this
us on
happens.
track a little bit.
we don't rehearse for these, so
No,
we
I
haven't
know.
pulled out a bio or read about you.
We don't even
or-
look anything
Wait,
We
up.
don't even
way to do
look
your
anything
homework,
up.
guys.
No. We don't do any of it.
We
want
really
to discover.
We
Yeah.
let you tell us.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
want to,
No, it's good.
So
Everything
like,
we want to be a surprise.
we don't
Okay.
come up with questions.
Surprise! I
let's
broke
talk
my
about
foot by
the-
falling down the stairs.
Right.
That's a good surprise. Or a stair. to be clear, it was the last one.
Right.
Anyway, so let's go back to dressing people. So
Yes.
I work with clients individually. How I got into that is I had moved here from New York and was not doing just the type of events that I was doing in New York City. We were doing like fashion shows and galas and weddings and private dinners. And, you know, this is no criticism to other communities, but as you can imagine, in New York City, we were working with some pretty, you know, supple budgets. And so I got to do some wild and crazy fun
Supple
things.
budgets. I love that.
And then, you know, I came here and moved here for love and had to kind of find my
It should,
footing.
the supple budget should just be
That's the
a
vibe.
brand.
Supple budget. That's
Supple
a store
budgets.
name.
It's a store name.
I would be happy to sell you the trademark to that.
You don't have to. It's not registered yet. You just came up with it. It's gone.
Let's
It's
see.
taken.
He's
Your
already
phone,
got
your
it.
phone's closer than mine
He's
is.
already got it taken. He's ready.
Supple
Do you want to
budgets.
pause on supple budgets a little bit more?
Yeah, it's just such a great phrasing.
You're welcome.
I don't hear it often.
It's by the way, it's a very Jewish thing to say. Like I remember when I was a caterer, like my mentor, a woman who took me under her wing, was a big philanthropist, big, very kind of powerful Jewish woman that I used to cook all her, you know, a lot of her parties for big galas, and it's the kind of thing she would say. And she never used the word money in the singular. It was always monies.
I actually love when people use that word that way.
And when you said supple budgets, the only thing I could hear is Judy saying supple monies or something like that. It just, anyways, segue back.
I'm so glad I
Dressing
I
people
could
up.
bring that thought to you.
Yeah.
No, my mentor. So I was working for a financial services firm here for a little while on their marketing and event team. Met my mentor, who's not from here. She's not Jewish. I have another mentor who is Jewish, who has been a part of the journey in my own, you know, converting story. But this first mentor was like, look, she's written a bunch of books. She did a lot of keynotes and TV appearances. And she was like, I need to look a certain way. And I could really use your help. I think you have a really good eye. Is this something that you've thought about before? And I thought, of course. I love fashion. I worked with fashion clients in New York. I've always used it as a source of creative inspiration. But I grew up as an athlete, and you know, I wasn't really encouraged to be creative. And I will also go so far to say, like, I didn't really feel like I had a pedigree to work in fashion. I was like dealing with divorced parents and just trying to like work hard and, you know, get by, and held a bunch of jobs while I was in school too. And so I didn't think I would really like fit into the world of fashion, which is important for me to share, because when people look at me today, they're like, that can't be true. And I'm like, that's just a story, you know? And so you have an opportunity to evolve in life. And I took it and have run with it. And then, you know, 8 years ago, I launched my business. She was my first client and has been heavily word of mouth. You know, with a lot of other like earned media marketing things, but I think it actually came at the right time, because in this community, it not forced me, but it encouraged me to put myself out there and to start connecting with people and to like
Okay,
step
so
into
you're
the
going into people's closets. And
I'm
what do
getting
you
too
do?
philosophical.
Do you say these things gotta
This
go?
works, this doesn't work, this fits your body, this doesn't fit your body, this isn't consistent with your lifestyle anymore. You know, it's a really personalized experience
And then
for
you
people.
go also and
And
purchase
then I
clothes?
put items together for them, and then I catalog their closet. I'm on my phone, but I have everyone who I work with has a digital copy of their wardrobe, so it's fully digitally inventory.
You know what's going to be?
That's insane. I love that. I mean, love it. Because you lose track. Honestly, there's things that
My
sit
wife
there.
tells me that my closet is all around the house because I just leave shit everywhere.
you?
My coats, my jacket, and you know our living situation. We live in two houses.
You
that
got it
look at
all
each
going,
other, so
right.
I got clothes there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm intrigued by this. What do you charge people? Just like give us a ballpark.
$400 an hour.
And how many hours
It's
do you
public
typically
information.
spend on a?
He wasn't ready for me to answer.
I wasn't ready.
And you're ultimately going in and helping them clean out their closet and
Cleaning their
clean up their
closet.
life.
Digital inventory, getting tidy in their life, putting outfits together,
Very
and then
nice.
identifying areas that they could add in the future, and then shop for them if need
So,
be.
that's very nice. That's a hell of a
And then I
business.
pack for people if they're traveling. They give me their travel itinerary. I pack for them. They have a special event coming up. I put together looks for it. If they want to refresh a few things for a season, I pull those together for them.
What about poor people?
Poor people? Define poor people.
What about people who can't afford $400 an hour?
That aren't on a sub-bowl. They're maybe on a more frugal.
Yeah.
Okay, well...
I mean, this sounds like such a fucking effete business. I mean, I'm sorry to chop you. I mean,
I'll
we're
answer
here.
you.
I'm gonna
Give it to me.
Yeah, I'm just saying. What about poor people?
We're friendly coming into this. So
Yeah.
we have a rapport.
I mean, what about people that just really like? I'm talking about like someone who just started a new job and just can barely fucking pay for rent, and they want to still look professional and good. Are you doing any of that sort of thing?
So the other half of my business,
Okay, there
I
you
work
go.
with colleges and organizations, and I do speaking and consulting within that space. So like, I can't be for everybody all the time. You can't feed everybody in this community,
Of
can
course
you?
not.
Right. So like, I like how you're coming at the question. I'm gonna meet you in that moment and say like, I am studying psychology through the lens of the applied psychology of fashion and style. I'm in graduate school in the midst of running my business
Oh,
as
wow.
well, and volunteering as much as I can in the community here. And part of that is building out.
By the way, you realize that I only kind of came at her like that because I knew that her response is going to be so fucking polished.
Of course.
And so fucking like up here.
She's been asked
Honest.
this before, I'm
It's
sure.
gonna
So-
be honest with you though,
So.
which is like, so anyway, I go in and I do speaking and like to larger groups to give them the science behind why it matters to show up and how to read the room in certain ways that you're walking into. So if you're giving me an example, like a young person who's like maybe starting out a career, or if they had the opportunity to go to college or not go to college, but they're walking into maybe any kind of a professional environment. I don't just mean like a corporate environment. You have professional environments with your businesses.
Exactly.
And like there's a certain kind of visual aesthetic. I'm not saying people need to dress a certain way, but like there are parameters, and I think I feel fairly strongly about this in today's culture in particular. One is we've always been in a visual society. It's
Right.
only getting more visual. Look at what we're even doing here right now. Like
Right.
we're being filmed. For those of people who are listening to us and are watching us, like,
Right.
you can see us right now.
Right.
I put an effort. We all put effort and thought into how we were going to walk out the door today.
That's true.
And there's a certain degree of self-regard and self-respect that comes in not just with dressing, but like grooming, taking care of yourself so that you can do your very best. I'm not aiming for perfection here with people. That's not my intent.
Yeah.
But it's just like, how can I give you some of these tools to understand like what little tweaks you can do to help yourself show up in the rooms that you're walking into and to like read the room in a way that is hopefully going to make you happy, and it's also going to make it productive for everybody involved.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with the idea of people feeling a certain self-worth when they dress up.
Yeah. But also being comfortable in who they are with what they have on, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be expensive. That's one of the biggest things right now too, right? Like I'm going to touch your phone, sorry.
Yeah.
It's like we have these things. Those false images that we're scrolling on feeds, like they're driving people to at times feel, less, there's a lot of words you can fill in here. I'm really
Confident in
sensitive.
themselves.
Not even that.
No,
they
no,
just,
it
like
sets
they're
a- it
comparing
sets a-
themselves from like a social
Yeah.
lifestyle
Yeah, it
class
sets
perspective.
a first of all unrealistic, but oftentimes even completely scripted images of people that are
Yes.
not even real.
Right.
And believe me, I have to play the game. You have to play the game a little bit too.
Yeah, absolutely.
You and I operate businesses. You also have to play the game given the kind of profile that you have professionally. Like,
Yeah.
we all have to kind of, to a certain degree, choose like to play ball enough to market ourselves, because we need to be in the places where the types of people who we want as audience members, customers, clients,
Well,
to make sure that we do have that visibility.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a double-edged sword.
everyone's a brand right now. I mean, whether you have 200 followers or 200,000 followers, 200 million followers, we all have public, unless you're complete disengaged from social media. Once you're in, even the smallest profile that you have, you become a brand of your own. You're selling yourself, even if to your own friends.
Well,
it's,
like you said, it doesn't matter what industry or what job or
Yeah,
career
of
you're
course.
in.
It doesn't matter.
100%. Like,
So
I want to add something to that really quick. Two things. One is we all, especially now, we've been hyped up in this space over the last decade plus of this growing sort of like beast in which we engage with each other online and offline. So like a certain level of validation from a psychological perspective as human beings, we actually need that so that we can make sure that we're all safe together. Like if we're gonna get real primal here, like we need to kind of validate and check people to make sure that like, okay, they're, you know, for whatever our qualifications are, at the very least, this is going to be a safe interaction. You know, it's going to be productive. You know, we're both
Oh, there's
going to
nothing
get things
productive
that we
about
need.
this.
Well, not this. I'm trying to give people other examples. Certainly, although keep poking and I'm going to come back at you.
We're ready. We're ready for it, for sure.
The other part of it is like, you know, we don't need to go down the AI rabbit hole here, but like, you know, especially, you know, I do some speaking, not just around style, but also like, you know, how to engage online and offline with people. And that is like, you have to, I think I'm hopeful is what I'll say. Over the next 5 years, I hope we can start to lean more in this direction is we need to be a little bit more human, definitely with each other, but also online.
Yeah.
Because AI is already quickly confusing people in terms of what is real and what is not
Of
real.
course.
And so that idea of like real validation in others is like we need to start really thinking about that and like how we're doing that online. Because I've seen like, this is a silly example, but it's true, like LinkedIn profiles and like profile pictures, like headshots that I consult people on, I'm like, don't be super like crazy perfect about this because people may start questioning if you're real or not. Like, is that a photo of like an AI bot? Is that AI generated? So like, it's interesting. These are the kinds of things I
Well, no, that
think
makes
about
sense
in my
because
spare time.
but that makes sense, and it ties back to what we're doing here because, like, I think it's pretty obvious to the people that watch and listen. It's like this
No, it's
is
okay, we're
this
good.
is genuinely just authentic conversation.
I
where
know.
we don't like to script anything. Like, I think in the world we live in, like you're talking about, like there is a lot of AI. There's like you don't get people for who they are these days, and everybody's trying to put on this front and these different faces when they present themselves, and really it's just be you, like just authentically be who you are, right?
Yeah, I can
think
authentically answer polished answers sometimes.
that's fair, but like I think you're talking about
like Ben gave us a look.
you know who Ben, and it ties into like kind of this whole conversation, but like and Ben's style, but like he talks about he's a thrifter and he like
I know that,
but he plays it off so well, but it's like you look at like an Adam Sandler, right? And you look at like some of the shit that he throws together and wears, and it's like he's in a public.
It's all about the unlaced boots.
But it works for him.
That's but he does it consistently.
Totally. And I think you're consistently you the same way, where it's
Maybe
like,
so.
you know, you're in a spot where you're presenting yourself in this clean way, but you're also repurposing.
All right, I have a question for you about that though.
Yeah.
You're pretty consistent with it.
With what?
With like you usually have like a nice little necktie on.
I've had this since I was 18 years old.
The ascot.
That's great.
The ascot.
I know.
I have thousands of them.
I know because I see you in them often. So like that's part of your. I'm gonna call it a little bit of like a uniform in a way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so like that's my question is, do you think about that when you get dressed every day?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me more.
I was in. When was I in Italy? Just
You
a
were
month
just
ago.
in June.
I know. I saw your beautiful photos
And,
that were not overly polished and real and authentic.
Right.
And I'm very. Well, that's a different question. I'm very selective about what I put out, like a lot of people. I'm selective about what I put out, but I'm then making sure that what I put out is very, I guess this word authentic. I don't like this word, but
I don't like the word
authentic
It's
to a
you.
certain extent.
Genuine.
But anyway,
Is that a better word? Can
Huh?
we say genuine?
genuine.
Okay.
No, but I was in Umbria, and I went to visit Solomeo. Do you know about Solomeo?
Don't tell me.
Solomeo is a small little village just south of Perugia, and it's the headquarters and home of Brunello Cucinelli.
Oh, certainly
And-
know about that place.
Should know about that place. And Brunello Cucinelli is a lot more than a fashion designer. He's a philosopher of sorts. He's a humanist, an amazing art collector, and he's turned that village, the village of Solomeo, into this shrine for just there's an amazing library there. There's a beautiful amphitheater that he's created. It's a very peaceful and almost spiritual, I dare say, space that he want to attract people to come see. And one of the things that is very interesting about Brunello Cucinelli when he talks about dressing up men and about his suits, you'll hear a lot of people that they put these suits on and says they're so comfortable, but they also give them this sense of strength and that type of confidence and validation that you were talking about. But he's talking about two different things about what clothes. He said his inspirations, what he's trying to do with a lot of his designs is combine two unique, sometimes conflicting features. A, the uniform, the armor. That's what you present to the world. That's your safe place. So a nice jacket, the Brunello Cucinelli, evokes strength and confidence and wealth.
Right.
Power.
At the same time, he's talking about, since he's very close to Assisi, which is a very spiritual place where Francis, the Franciscan order was established. Very beautiful area. Cucinelli also talks about the jacket or the suit as cloth, as a mission, as something that is, again, the opposite of strength. Your weakness, your humility, so these two things, these two ideas of being humble and simple, because if you look at all of the Cucinelli designs, the details are not ostentatious. They're very simple and comfortable and
Beating touch.
very, very light, but at the same time perfectly fitting. So this tension between the cloth, the mission, the humility, and the armor, the power, the uniforms, I love that. I mean, it's a profession, yeah?
Right. Thank you for naming the town. I'm very familiar with that space.
Solomeo.
They've created an entire economy of their workforce also that
That
supports
too.
the organization.
Yeah, that too.
But I know what you're saying. What you're pointing to, though, is something that I've been toying around with a lot lately, and I don't want to say I'm going to write a newsletter about it because that's something that I try to do pretty regularly, but it might be maybe. But this concept of dialectical thinking, which is exactly what you're describing, and it's literally what you said, Ben, and it's it's two opposing truths.
Look
held
at Laura Sawyer with the
simultaneously.
philosophy here,
You're testing her now. I like it.
dialectical thinking.
It's a true thing, but and I think this comes back to my Judaism experience, which is part of why we're sitting here today, and that is you can hold opposing truths at the same time, and it doesn't actually take you away from who you are.
No.
It makes you more of who you are.
Exactly.
It's just, I think, gotten a little lost on some of us,
Yes.
today, that you can be those things. Now to go into drilling it into fashion and bringing it back to where you're going is you can hold and appreciate different kinds of aesthetics and have different kinds of values associated with it. Just because you care about how you carry yourself or your presence every day doesn't make you a shallow thinker, right?
It sometimes does.
Well, I'm speaking with the best of intent for
Yes.
people, and those who maybe don't have the information, who aren't showing up that way that maybe could help them,
Right.
may not know, and it doesn't make them wrong necessarily either.
You're right.
You just have to kind of.
So tell us, what are you wearing? What?
Oh.
And why did you?
Speaking of-
And why did you
speaking
choose
of-
this for our?
Oh.
For our Jews in the Lil.
Well, first of all, they can't see me, but I'm in these really fun Fendi flats.
Okay.
Woo! We're gonna zoom in on the shoes.
Yeah, we
Zoom in
never
on
do.
the shoe.
Woo! They're cool, These always get a
They
compliment.
look very comfortable.
They are really comfortable. They probably could go to the cobbler. They're starting to flip a little.
Yeah.
I got these resale, so these are pre-owned and pre-loved.
Okay.
I buy a lot of my shoes that way actually because
I buy all my shoes this way, almost.
Okay, all right.
Almost exclusively.
But I wear my shoes really aggressively, and so I have a great cobbler that I work with out in New York that is very efficient. Efficiency with some of my client work. I mean, everybody wants to be efficient, so that I work with, and I'll usually get them zhuzhed up a little bit. And then my pants are Ralph Lauren jeans. They're just cool.
Yes.
This is
And then the T-shirt.
It's Sakai. which is a Japanese brand. Yeah.
I like it.
It's
And
cool.
accessories.
Okay, well, most important accessory. Well, I wear a lot of Adam Foster jewelry. They're local.
Yeah.
And then I think you're coming to my one accessory that I wear, which is my Star of David.
And what's next to it?
It's a tag. It's a lovely little tag.
Yeah, I like them doubled up.
I like them doubled up
Yeah.
too. It feels easy. So I wear this necklace pretty much every day. I got this after I converted. It was something that I wanted to do for myself as a reminder. We don't need to go deep in it. I wear this with pride. Brett Stevens, who is a opinion columnist for the New York Times.
Yeah, we know him.
He.
I just disagreed overwhelmingly with the latest piece that got a lot of.
Good. Well, I'm not saying I'm
But no, he's
referencing that, but
yeah.
he provides some thinking, I think. I don't
So
always
what
agree
ab-
with
yeah,
him.
yeah.
But he was interviewed like a year ago or so. I forget on what, but it's his video clip where he's saying like, we as Jewish people, like, let's remind ourselves to like wear our Jewishness.
Yeah.
And so, everybody does it in different ways, and it doesn't have to be as explicit either. And for someone like me who like really sometimes is like very thoughtful about like making intentional choices about how I'm dressing, and then sometimes I pick things out just because they're really fun and they
Yeah,
make me happy.
exactly.
Like not all clothes need to be like some philosophical
Exactly.
route, okay? But this is a good reminder for me.
Yeah.
And I will say too, like,
What are you wearing?
Wait, hold on. Let me add this last point. My rabbi, when I was in my conversion process, was like, our rabbi was like, just consider some ways that like you're choosing every day to be a Jew. Waking up and like, what are you doing to be Jewish?
Yeah.
And, there are a few different things that I do that we don't have to get into, but
You pray?
this is one of them. I do pray. Absolutely.
I'm asking.
Sometimes I pray to God, sometimes I pray to the universe. It just depends on...
Aren't one and the same?
I think they are one and the same. It depends on... You really want to go there?
No.
Okay.
That seems like a whole nother conversation, right?
Uh-huh.
We don't talk about God enough in this podcast.
We don't talk about God enough,
I think
but
that,
I think, yeah.
I think I can use those words interchangeably for me, and I respect. And this is also what I love about Judaism is that like my understanding of Judaism is that like no one is to challenge my Judaism, and therefore I am not to challenge anyone else's Judaism.
Mm-hmm.
And if I personally use God and the universe interchangeably, I like your question, but like I feel comfortable.
What was my
in
question?
My faith. Are they one and the same?
Oh, I mean, this was a fleeting thought. Yeah.
What do you think? Yeah.
About
Get in here, Alex.
About the God and the universe thing. I think you.
Are we
just
going
kinda-
there? I thought we were not going there.
You want to do my
What
outfit
are
or
you
God?
wearing?
I don't know. I mean, look.
These are the kinds
I'm
of
a big
conversations I have
manifester.
every day.
I'm a big person that believes in like manifesting, like whether you're doing something through action or thought, or like praying outwardly or just in your own brain. I think you believe in something or go for something and you really like put it out there. Like I think your chances of it happening are obviously better, but that's just basic math. For me, I'm wearing a Normal Brand shirt today.
Like normal brand.
Yep, thank you.
Representing.
Oh yeah, local. Love it.
Yeah, local.
Yep, Jimmy.
I'm actually wearing Banana Republic jeans.
They make great
They
jeans
make
for
great
all
jeans.
different. Like they have a great
Yeah.
assortment of sizes and ranges.
If
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
great.
buy clothes at thrift store,
Banana.
Do you feel guilty?
no, I don't feel guilty. No, but I will buy. I use Costco.
Do you?
I buy a lot of stuff at Costco.
We need to have a whole. Okay, clear. Okay, wipe the slate. Costco. Okay, tell me why if you don't buy and why you go to Costco. I have so many thoughts on that.
Why
I'm
you
a
don't?
big. I love Costco. People know it about me, and people have used it. Challenged me. I even buy things for my restaurants at Costco. I remember to be the first one to admit I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's the immigrant fascination. When I came here and I went to Costco and there's just plenty and the smell and the, I don't know.
What does it smell like to you?
America. Anyway, doesn't
my
matter.
God,
I was
so
going to
good.
say.
I like that.
I was going to say that at Costco recently, they've had a lot of Banana Republic.
Or you're not dupes, knockoff.
I think
No.
they've got to be due.
No,
Really?
it's Costco. So yeah, T-shirts and
The
jeans
partnerships and-
Do they have a partnership with them?
Yeah, they'll do those partnerships.
I know
so.
they've done others, yeah. I want to do a video series where I go into Costco
It's
and I
amazing.
style clothing.
You could easily do that.
Yeah,
It's good material. It's good stuff.
I agree.
It's-
Well, and Kirkland brand also there's a great, this is the number one podcast on my list. My number two podcast on my list is the Acquired podcast. And they do deep dives on businesses. And they have
Costco
one on
is very
Costco
interesting.
that's fascinating.
Well, I think
I'll
that
send
kind
it
of
to
goes
you.
to like, okay, so like designer and name brands and stuff. Like, how much as a designer or as a somebody that's in style, like how much do you think that people in the world that we live in today get too caught up with name or brands? Because you're talking about.
Okay, so before you think, I had this.
Before you think.
No. Before you answer, because I think I may know where she's gonna go to with this. I mean, people hide behind brands and think that brands are maybe
End all be all.
Oh, I've got some psychology.
Yeah,
game
there's a lot of
theory
psychology,
research for you.
exactly. But one of the most disgusting thing I've seen recently when it comes to branding, and just be, is this fucking stupid $6,000 purse that looks like a coffee cup, a Balenciaga. Have you seen that
It's always
shit?
Balenciaga's always got that shit, right? It's all. I know exactly
I'm
what you're
gonna
talking
go back
about.
to that thing over there.
Go
It's
fucking get a
because-
coffee Starbucks thing and put your purse in there.
Right,
Your
right, put a
wallet,
handle on it.
put
Staple it.
Just
there's
hold
not
the
even a
lid.
handle.
Yeah.
You just hold
The
it.
lid.
You just hold the fucking stupid thing.
But that's the shit I'm talking about. It's like people are gonna buy it,
People are buying it.
right?
I saw it all over Vegas.
Well,
People
that seems-
walking around with
That
their.
doesn't surprise
Now,
me.
what's your psychology behind
Anyway.
all of it?
Okay, so like, I'm gonna keep this light, but basically, when
Keep it light.
When we're kicking each other under the table here. There,
Yeah, can I just before you even answer? I just
he's loving poking at me right now.
no, not at all. I'm admiring every. This is not what I thought this podcast was going to be at all. This episode. I just gotta
What
give it
did
to
you
you.
think? Go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
no, no.
All
I
right.
didn't have any assumptions
All right.
or any presumptions. I just, I think that you're one of the most articulate, well, you're the most articulate person that's been on this podcast. And we've had some serious people here, CEOs and lawyers and leaders
Polished,
of our community.
very polished people.
And you're being articulate doesn't just mean that you speak well. You speak clearly, with humor, succinctly when you need to. I know you got to do this for a living. You speak to crowds, don't you?
I do.
Okay, so you're trained at this.
Well, but it's
But
genuine.
really, I gotta give it to you. It's been very very enlightening. The conversation, not you, just the conversation. I mean, I didn't expect this today when I woke up with my puffy eyes after a long trip, and I'm like, okay, well, let's just do this. Another conversation. We'll gag, we'll laugh, but this was great so far.
So we should end there.
No.
And we got a couple minutes left.
Oh man.
I want to go. I want the answer though. I do want the answer.
No. The
to
answer should be it. It's an
That's
important answer.
generous. Thank you. What was the question? No. So when it
psychology,
comes to branding,
yeah.
when it comes to like why people are drawn to like obscure objects like that like seem to have like no reasoning and function, not only function but like the cost associated with it and then the brand associated with it. There are concepts associated with game theory that relate to like signaling ultimately. So like, for people who are familiar with the brand first of all, and then they know what that item is in particular, they're signaling to other people
Yeah.
who are in that like that
Yeah.
level,
Yeah.
of like how they're communicating to one another. And then there are people who are looking at that and that are signaling different values, perhaps like you from what you're describing, that you're just like, this is so fucking stupid. Like, who would spend this kind of money on this when, there are plenty of other better things that we should be spending our money and our
Yeah.
time on,
No,
which
no.
is, I think, is what you're
So
kind of
one of my
this.
favorite, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I read it somewhere, that executives at Dior were very, very concerned that certain individuals have been paparazzied with their items, and they not necessarily wanted Dior to be associated with low culture, maybe hip hop culture, And so the idea was, how do we get away from this specific individuals away from our brand, because our brand now is it's becoming. They went ahead and bought hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of Louis Vuitton and sent it free to those individuals,
No way.
so they can just wear.
So that they're not associated
Competing.
with the brand.
Well, I mean, both brands are owned by LVMH, so like.
Well, maybe not. Maybe it's a different brand. I mean,
Okay,
my point
I
is,
was like, but
Wow. I
people
mean,
people do all sorts of wild things, but like there's a costly,
maybe it was a Gucci thing.
Okay.
They sent them a bunch of Guccis or whatever.
Well, that would be a different
Yeah.
parent company then. But like there is costly signaling that goes into all of this, and I'm going to go back to these devices again, and that is like we are motivated by what we see, and if you have to like be a brand who's managing your brand in all sorts of ways, you might flood the market differently to help sort of like recreate a picture of like who the ideal customer is to create that illusion. On the other hand, I'm going to use Hermes as an example, actually. There was a woman this year who was taking LL Bean Boat and totes, and she was converting them into Birkin bags. And within the last month, the website has been wiped clean. I would
Meaning
imagine that Hermes probably sent a cease and desist letter.
yeah.
Because they're, I think, a good case study of a brand that is on that level, that's trying their best to really keep it tight from a brand perspective on like how that product and aesthetic is spreading across the board. But it's increasingly hard with brands. We're going down one path. I'll come back to the other one. You know, we've got a resale market that is, I think, in my opinion, you engage to a certain degree within, you thrift, right? But like there's a level of the resale, the secondary market, that's a part of it. And it's become more in fashion over the last 5 years.
That's always my biggest fear is that. I mean, that's a capitalistic mentality, is that what's on the edge, on the margins, that's threatening maybe the status quo.
Right.
You don't reject it, you embrace it.
Right.
You know, if Madonna in the 80s and 90s was such a scary thing to elite culture, all of a sudden you just hug it. I mean, same thing with fashion. If streetwear and hip hop culture was a threat to high fashion didn't reject it. They just completely hugged it and
Totally.
embraced it. They
But this is the cycle of
they
these things.
mainstreamed that
Yeah.
stuff. And my thing is that, you know, all the things I love, antiquing and thrifting, are becoming so mainstreamed that it's no longer that I even now don't like to do this because everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an
Because
example
you're
from
a counter signaler. You're counter signaling these things, and now they're becoming
because
mainstream.
I will tell you what, like, it's not from the world of fashion, it's the world from interior design. You know, I go to great lengths to design my restaurants,
Which
my
are
spaces
beautiful.
in general. And not always I design them to be beautiful. Like, this is not beautiful. I mean, this is. But anyway, my point is
Thoughtful is beautiful.
thoughtful. I remember going into a Starbucks. This is, you know, after I opened Olio, you know, over a decade ago, and I went to Starbucks and start seeing found objects and like all these kind of beat up tables and beat up chairs. I'm like, why the fuck is Starbucks doing this? Like, my shit's not cool anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, so
Right.
you always constantly have to. And so I remember that at Olio, after 3-4 years, where we had all these beautiful cocktail glasses that I thrifted from all places, and all of a sudden everyone's doing it, and you know, fucking Capital Grill was doing it. All of a sudden they have antique glassware. I decided I gotta do that. So I said we're gonna use one glass. And again, it's just cyclical thing like
Yeah.
we're talking
Right,
about.
but you reject the mainstream. Whether you intentionally want to or not
Yeah,
is what
maybe
you're
so.
describing.
You
at
did,
least
yeah.
right now.
That's
Yeah.
You know,
very true.
which is fine either way. It's just you.
It's not about rejection.
Why do you like thrifting, and why do you like?
It's
buying
not
things
it's
in
not
antique
rejection
stores?
for its own sake. It's
Right.
I like things to be done with substance and not on a superficial level. And thrifting meant that you are not going for something specific. You're going and you're discovering something. And
Right.
if you truly thrift, you don't go to one store, you go to 7 or 8 stores until you get the fucking thing that you didn't
There's
expect
more
to
than just
get.
the look of it.
And there is storytelling behind this, and it's not just, oh, I found a nice pair of whatever at the. So anyway, I don't like how a lot of those things get the core of it, the substance of it gets sucked out, and all you see is what's on the outside.
I just wrote a paper this semester in my graduate class. I'm taking a course on the psychology of aesthetics, and I had to write my paper. You had to choose a topic of something that you like weren't really aesthetically drawn to. So just let me answer this and explain it. I picked the trend cottagecore. Have you heard of this trend before? It's basically like people living on farms wearing flowy, smocked floral dresses, picking up chicken eggs, but it's the commodification of that lifestyle that is the trend that I don't love. There are aspects of that lifestyle that I think are truly beautiful and wonderful. What happened is I wrote about it during the height of the pandemic when people were trying to escape, whether physically escape to places to be safe or to feel safe, or they were digitally escaping to places to pull them outside of the stress of whatever was going on at that time for them, understandably. And so the key is exactly what you're saying, is that when things like that, when they become trend, when they become so core and mainstream, you lose sight of, I'm going to use the word we don't really like, the authenticity, the real authenticity behind it. Where is the substance, where it becomes copy? And the reason people are drawn to that in our world today, I'm not criticizing these people, this is just how we operate to a degree, is they're looking to feel like they have a sense of belonging within a group, right? And so there are tons of places that people can belong, but if their friends are there, if they're really drawn to it, if you get so caught up in it, you're not willing to even question yourself, to deny yourself of maybe I was wrong for thinking I should have belonged in that group either, that people struggle with too. So it's got all these layers to it. It's why I came back to you and was like, are you like the counter of this? Are you like against this? And that's not a criticism, and is that maybe something that's a part of your values?
We were supposed to have Phyllis Langsdorf here, and she couldn't make it today, but we'll have her on this show on a different episode. But Phyllis is I think she's the president, chairman of
NCJW.
The National Council for Jewish Women, and they have that resale store in Lindbergh. That's where I live. I love that place.
When I clean closets out, they
give
go
it
to
to them?
NCJW. Absolutely.
I gotta bring some stuff.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah,
I think
that's a great place.
I think this has been very insightful. I think we learned a lot about Laura. Obviously, what you do in the community, your passion, and I think you're just comfortable, like, about you just making those decisions of being Jewish, the lifestyle that you live, and I think that it's really cool that, like Ben said, this conversation.
I didn't ask you this, and we're wrapping up. But do you have children?
I don't have children.
Okay.
I have a cat.
You have a cat. What's your cat's name?
Remy.
Remy?
Remy.
You know,
very sweet.
I'm deathly allergic to cats. Did you know that about me?
I'm pretty allergic to cats. I didn't know that though. Definitely.
Well, then I won't invite you over, but I go to your places because all your restaurants are my neighbors.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to doing we need to have Laura number 2 on this podcast and do it at her house in her closet. And
we do need. Like,
how big is your closet?
Oh, not big enough.
No.
Is anybody's ever big enough? Honestly, I think you could always use a bigger closet.
What's the name of that bullshit thing
fun
that
with
somebody
clothes, okay.
like? There was a trend. Mary, where she would go to people's. The
I
whole
thought he
idea
was going
about.
to say like Mary Kilbuck.
Huh? What was I saying?
I thought you were
I'm
going to
lost.
say, can I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
like
thought you were going to say,
Were you asking permission?
Is this the trend? I thought you were going to say, Mary Kilfuck, who would be your...
that thing, like that,
I don't know what that is.
game like people play.
We'll play the game later when we're done.
I don't
Off
know.
camera.
Yeah.
camera?
That'll be a bonus.
Okay. No, I was saying there is this minimalistic trend that you only have to live on certain things and clean up your fucking house. And what was the name of her? Mary something.
Oh, Marie Kondo.
Marie Kondo.
Does this spark joy? Apparently she had children and went back and said, fuck all that.
Is that right?
I mean, don't quote me that she said exactly that.
I'm a maximalist. I like color. I like a big mess. I like abundance. I don't like.
It's not
Minimal
realistic.
shit.
My
No,
last
I
point on this.
appreciate certain things. I mean, I don't want to get into this conversation. This is too. This is
All
too
I'm
heavy.
gonna say
this
is
is too philosophical.
it's not realistic, okay? We all as human beings actually seek novelty constantly, and what we really are looking for when people think about the minimalist perspective is they want to reduce the noise. And you can still live a
I like
maximalist
noise.
life and live with managed
And
noise.
Devin likes
There
noise.
you go.
Yeah,
So let's go make some noise.
I love it.
that was great.
Thank you.
You have any questions for us?
I think I asked some questions.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
It was amazing.
Well, we appreciate it.
Are you
I
hungry?
gotta run here in a second.